So hello everyone, I hope you're doing good. So coming back to the chapter like measure of the leverage, as I told you that time, please when you will be studying on your own, go through these examples like example 3.1 and they're straightforward, okay? They're straightforward. And there's one comprehensive example which I will take it into account. I will work on that on myself. Just a second, I will go to that example. Like 3.7. And end of chapter questions too. Don't forget the lecture 1 too. Okay, now. So this is the example that I was talking.
Hello, Professor.
Yes, hello. Do you see the Excel and the chapter, the book itself that I shared?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Now, we know that to calculate the Wacc, there are several ways to do that. Okay, let me open one chapter and put it on Excel. Okay, here we go. I'll just copy the formula and put it there so that we can see it. So to calculate the Wacc, there are several ways to go to do that. Like first you need to calculate the debt side, then you're going to be calculating the equity side, then you're going to be adding them all. So what I will do, just copy it and paste it into Excel. Okay. Now this is the formula that we will be using. We know how to calculate the debt side. It's using the YTM approach. It's about to use the rating approach, which is like straightforward. Regarding the second part, which is not that much frequent, but still it's their formula, which is given. We can use that one. And regarding the third one, it's a bit challenging in a way that you need to know when the company is not publicly available. When the company is publicly available, all the information is given. You just get the data and just put it into the formula and you just calculate. Yeah, like using the CAPM approach. However, you should know that not all the time the companies are publicly available, not with the example that we have it here. For example, here, it tells you to calculate the beta using the pure play method means you can calculate the beta. Why we need to calculate the beta? In order to calculate the CAPM. And the CAPM is what? Is expected rate equal to risk-free rate plus beta multiplied by equity risk premium. That's what we have it. So this is we calculate the cost of equity. That's what we calculate the cost of equity, okay? If all the information is given, that will be like straightforward calculation. You will get the numbers and plug it into here, and you just get the expected return, the cost of equity, okay? This is what you are calculating actually. But if the company is not publicly available, it's a private company, then the challenging part starts where you need to calculate the beta separately. And then once the beta is calculated, you can easily plug it into the formula and calculate. So with a given example here, the George Schremp is a CFO of the Bayern Chemicals TGA and a large German manufacturer of industrial, commercial, consumer chemicals. Here is like a chemical company. Bayern Chemicals is a privately owned, so the keyword is here. So no information is available about this company. Its shares is not listed on the exchange. The CFO has appointed the Markus Meyer as the CFA or CFA of a crystal clear valuation as a third-party evaluator to perform the standalone valuation Bayern Chemical. So Meyer had access to the following information to calculate the Bayern Chemicals weighted average cost of capital. First of all, the nominal risk-free rate is given of the 10-year German bond, which was 4.5. So I will put here like risk-free rate 4.5%. Oops. So 4.5% for the German bond. The average long-term historical equity risk premium. So equity risk premium is given. Look, all the components are given here. So the risk-free rate is given, which is 4.5. The equity risk premium is given too, which is 5.7%. 5.7%. And the Bayern Chemicals corporate tax rate is given. So we are not given beta because it's the company, it's a privately owned company, and the beta is not given. So that's the main reason that we don't have the beta. So we have the tax. So we'll put all the information which are available. It's a data parameter. And target debt equity ratio. So target debt equity ratio. Debt equity ratio is 0.70. By the way, do you know how to calculate the proportions only if the debt equity ratio is given? How to calculate the proportion of debt, proportion of equity? Do you have any idea of it? Okay, we know that proportion of assets plus proportion of debt, sorry, my bad, proportion of debt plus proportion of equity will be equal to 1. That's what we know it. Like it's 100%. And debt plus equity, so proportion of debt plus proportion of equity, it's actually equal to proportion of assets. Or other way around, like debt plus equity is equal to asset. This is what we know it. But we're given the debt to equity ratio. We're given the debt equity ratio 0.7. How can we find the proportion of debt and proportion of equity? So debt to over equity, make it like this. Debt over equity is what? 7/10. Can it be like this? Are you agree with this equation?
Yes.
So now we know that the debt is 7, equity is 10. But debt over equity is 0.7. Now we can we find now what is the total asset? What is the asset equal to?
70.
Yes, perfect. Like 10 plus 7. And can you find the proportion of debt? How much of debt is financed by asset? So proportion debt is equal to what? 7 divided by
17.
17. Yeah. And proportion of equity? 1 minus this. Here we go. Now we are able to find debt over equity. It's a target debt equity ratio, and we can find the proportion debt, proportion equity. The only thing that we are not capable to find is the beta. The beta. So the proportion equity could be like 1.7, guys. 1.7. Can you find it? The debt equity, if it's 1.7, can you find the proportion of debt? How much is the debt and how much is the equity in this case? If debt over equity is 1.7. Again, same logic, guys. How did you get?
Equity 10.
Yes, that's true. So let's leave this example. So you know how to calculate the proportion debt and proportion equity if they are not directly given, but debt equity ratio is given. Okay, let's move on. The cost of debt has estimated spread 225 basis points. So the cost of debt is 225 basis points. It's basically, if you want to convert into percentages, it's 2.25%. Oops. And that's it. All information that is given about this company is here, but we need to calculate the beta for this company in order to proceed. We can easily calculate the cost of debt. So cost of debt basically could be calculated. Here is using the way of calculation, what do you call it? Oops. A second, stuck. Here. Now, so cost of debt, it's basically 2.25 plus risk-free rate. Now, guys, do you know what does the spread means? Here, it says here, spread. Where is it? Here. Yeah. Do you know what does the spread mean? Okay, let me tell you one thing. How the banking sector, they earn the money? They collect the deposits. They pay, let's say, some return, like 4.5% as return to deposit holders. And they lend this money at 6.75%. And the difference between the depositing rate and the lending rate is called spread. Just keep it in mind. Spread is the net return for the banking industry. So minimum, like deposit rate, as we can say it, and lending rate. And the difference is spread, for you to know it. Sorry, the vice versa. This minus this. This is spread. Now, okay, all information is given here, but only thing that we are not given is the beta. And to find the beta for the private company, we need to go and use the comparables, the companies that are available. Okay, we need to get information for the similar company, similar industry, preferably from the same region. So in here, they have given us 3 comparable companies. One is UK, the other one is France and the Netherlands. But once these companies are coming from the Europe, that it means that the industry, same region. So I will call them like A, B, C. The first one is France. The second one is, the first one is UK. The second one is France. And the third one is Netherlands. Okay, the companies. And we have the taxes here. I'm just transferring the data here. The taxes for the UK is 30%, 30.3%, and 30.5%. So these are the tax rates, and we have market capitalization. It's for I'll call like cap 4.5. It's in millions, 9,300, 7,000. And we have debt, 6,000. Again, this is not the company that belongs to what we are doing now. It's a comparable companies, like the companies from the same industry, but they do have their own financial statements disclosed. They're publicly available companies. And the last one, 6,000, 8,700. And we have 7,900. Now we are going to the formula. Okay, let me just copy the formula here so that you can easily be guided. These comparable formulas, the pure play method. Okay. I'll put it here. Gosh, doesn't work. Just a second. I want to make it smaller so that we can use it. Okay, now, look, guys, when the companies are private and you want to calculate the Wacc for the private company, you need to refer to the comparables, like for the public ones. So our company is a German company, which is private. And now we need to refer to the public one, like ABC in UK, France, and the Netherlands. And they are publicly available companies. All information are given. So basically, debt equity ratio is given. How can we calculate the debt equity ratio? It's basically debt over equity. Debt over equity. Okay, three of it. And I will call like debt equity ratio. Now I need to calculate actually the betas. The betas which are given here on the website. Do you remember in Yahoo Finance I shared with you levered beta? So these are the levered betas that are given on Yahoo Finance. So I'm going to put them down, 145. So they are already calculated. They are given to us 0.75 and 105. So this all information is given for the comparables. We're going to be using them. And the purpose is to understand, to find, so our idea, we need to calculate this beta. This is beta equity, okay? This is the beta equity. We need to calculate this beta equity. But to do that, we need to calculate the beta assets of the comparable companies. So beta asset is unlevered beta. So we need to calculate first unlevered beta. We'll have to calculate unlevered beta. How can we do it? According to this formula, we can calculate. So beta asset is unlevered, beta equity is levered. So beta equity is given for this financially disclosed companies, like public companies. They are disclosing all their financial information, including the betas. But the private, they don't. So we calculate the beta equity for private company. Now, so what I do here, first I will calculate the beta. I will unlever like beta asset, or sometimes it's called unlevered beta. So how can I calculate? Here's the formula. Nothing like very complicated. So you need to just use the beta asset. But to do that, you need to calculate the beta asset for each company. Let's do it. So beta equity, which is this. Beta equity is this. I mean, this beta equity. This beta equity is this levered beta. And we need to calculate, this is for our private. But to do that, we need to calculate. So we calculate this beta equity of these companies. Okay, here.
Sorry, Professor.
Yes.
Can you share this Excel file to the WhatsApp group in the end of class?
Yeah, I will. This Excel file, I will share it. No worries. I will share it with you guys.
Okay, thank you.
So beta equity is here and levered beta is here. Please, guys, if there's something that you cannot understand, stop me. I will explain it. So we are finding the beta equity is given. We are finding the beta asset. We are finding this for publicly available companies. We're finding it. Okay, this. So how to do that? Using this formula. So beta equities are this, beta equities are given. So let's do it. So beta equity multiplied by, open the bracket, 1 over, I open one more bracket, 1 plus, I mean this one. So 1 over 1 plus, I open one more bracket too, 1 minus tax, the tax of the relevant country of this, like 30%. Close the bracket, and this multiplied by debt equity ratio, relevant company here, by this debt equity ratio, which you already calculated, and close the bracket again and again. So that will give you beta asset or unlevered beta for comparable company for UK. And I just pull it down because I calculated. So I just put all these variables into this formula, calculate this beta asset, and I just drag it down and it calculates everything to me. However, now to calculate this beta asset, you need to calculate the average of it, average of this. So my beta asset is basically average. It's average of all this. There's something wrong. Okay. Incomplete. Now, that's my beta average. Okay. Beta asset. Now, I can use this beta asset of these 3 comparable companies and put it here into this formula to calculate my beta equity. So my beta equity is basically beta asset multiplied by 1 plus, open the bracket, 1 minus tax. But this is beta equity of my private project, means I have to use the relevant tax rate, which is this 38%. Not this. This I already used to calculate these comparables. But now I'm using the beta equity for my private company, for this beta. Okay, this is the beta I'm talking. So minus tax, I'm using this formula. And multiplied by the debt equity ratio. Which debt equity ratio I should use? Please help me.
0.7.
Yes, perfect. 0.7. That's it. So my beta equity is this. My final beta equity, my approach was this. So this is my private beta equity that I will be using here. So now I can calculate expected return. I can calculate expected return equal to, my expected return is equal to, like my CAPM. So risk-free rate 4.5 plus beta equity multiplied equity risk premium. Here we go. So this is my expected return, or let me call it as cost of debt, RD. Okay, that's what I have it.
Could you, Professor, why is it cost of debt, not cost of equity?
Cost of debt, why not what?
Why not cost of equity?
Your voice is lagging, Daniel. Could you repeat it again, please, your question? Sorry.
Why is not cost of equity?
Oh, perfect. My bad. We already calculated cost of debt, isn't it? Why I'm putting it's a cost of equity. Why cost of debt? My bad. Here we go. Thank you. It's good that you're following me. It's a cost of equity because expected return is a proxy for cost of equity, not the cost of debt. Cost of debt is already calculated. This is what we said, it's a cost of debt. So RD is already given. It's here, 6.75. It's a risk-free rate plus spread. Thank you. It's good that you're following me. I'm happy with it. Now, what about the proportion of debt? We calculated too, yes? I can bring them here. Now I calculated everything. Whatever I could calculate. Everything is here. What else is left is just to put into the big formula, to this big formula. Like proportion debt, cost of debt, tax. This we don't have it. It's not the preferred equity, it's not given. So, and proportion and the cost of equity. Now I can just put it into the formula here. So Wacc. So my proportion debt is this, multiplied by cost of debt, multiplied by 1 minus 38% plus proportion of equity multiplied by cost of equity. That's it. That will be your Wacc. That's the way we calculate Wacc actually. Again, proportion of debt, Q17, it's a proportion of debt. So this is proportion of debt. Cost of debt, this is cost of debt. This is the tax. Proportion of equity and cost of equity. And add them up, you get your Wacc. I don't know whether it's correct or not. We'll check it now. I might be mistaken. There's some miscalculation could be. So let's check it. Here we go. 7.24% should be the answer. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's 7.26, but now it is more exact. In here, they approximated numbers, but still. So this Excel you want me to share with you, yeah? Okay. Do you have any questions, guys?
No. Share it please to WhatsApp. It
Yeah,
will
I'll
be
send
more.
it to WhatsApp. I'll send it to WhatsApp, this Excel. And please, guys, solve those examples that I showed. Okay, don't leave it unsolved. Solve the end of chapter questions too. while you'll be solving, for example, this, don't go for it. Example 3.2 until 3.12. Okay, until this. They are straightforward, but the 3.13 is not included. Okay, just skip it. And for end of the chapter, let me just give you the hint. It's just theoretical. This could be solved, 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 could be solved. And this is theoretical. That's it. There's much. This is like could be solved. Solved. This one, the acid beta relevant. Yeah, it could be solved too. How many questions they have here? 27. They are more or less all of them are same. Like comparable companies using the pure play method, calculate equity beta for the private company. Again, this is private and this is the public. In that we had guys in here, we had 3 companies, you see, yeah? And we take the average of it. But in here, only 1 company, then you don't have to take any average. You just take this number directly. You do just the same thing. This one is this one was more complicated than the example. So there was a question, I guess. So I will upload it. Okay, I will upload this too. Let it be converted, and I will upload it.
Professor,
Yes, please.
sorry, can I ask about the example 311? So there is written that the spread is 225, but why do you write it as 2.25%?
No, it's a 225 basis points. It's the method of the conversion. Like 100 basis points, it's 1%.
Oh, now I get it. Thank you.
Like basis point, whenever like in US and Europe too, whenever they say the interests go up and down, they say by basis, not percentages. They don't use the percentages word. They say like by 200 basis or 50 basis points. But you have to convert them.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Any questions? Let me stop recording.